Hello all of my Eclipses friends. I'm so happy to be back together with you. And I do consider you my friends because do you realize this is episode 11? We spent 10 episodes dealing mostly with the dictionary. Now we're going to turn a new leaf and start talking about macros. And I know a lot of you want to talk about macros, so let's get going and let's get into Cosmos Corner, shall we? All right, I know there's a lot of different levels of experience with macros, and that's fine. But to make sure we all come up together and we all understand macros, we need to start at the very basic level. And one of the most basic levels that I promise you will use every single day you report, unless you have the most polite witness on the stand or in the depot room, and I mean the absolute most polite, would be the Buttin In macro. Now this macro, well, let me explain what a macro is. A macro is like a shortcut, if you will, of many functions going on at the same time. So for instance, this macro puts a dash above and a dash on the paragraph that you want in, and not only does it put it in, but it retransmits the dashes to the judge or the attorneys or whoever's viewing your transcript, or just you. But it makes you look better. So let's get into what this macro does, and let me show you how it works. So as you see here, I have a simple little transcript. Did you see the car enter the intersection? Answer, yes, I did. Question, how soon did you see? And here's where the trouble starts. We've all been there. Answer, I don't know, but I know it was soon. Question, the car before it stopped. Well, obviously you want the whole thing to be one question. So here's how it works. Forget this bottom line, the line 10. Pretend that's not there right now. You're writing line 9, and you know that you need to put a dash before the word the and a dash at the end of the word see to convert that question mark to a dash. But you don't have time because you're writing. Well, this macro, guarantee, one of the few things I can guarantee you're going to use it. This macro will put the dash after the word see and before the word the. And here it is. Let's make sure it works. And it does. Great, it works. So this is going to help, one, with your editing. It's going to make you look better in front of the attorneys, and it's going to cut down on your editing time. Wow, huge. Now, this is how, a couple of caveats. You have to be able to do this macro while you're on line 9, not line 10, but line 9, because the bottom dash or the second dash, you have to be in that paragraph, meaning the Q paragraph over there. You see where it says big Q? You have to be in that paragraph in order for it to work. Anywhere in that paragraph. For instance, he says here, the questioning attorney, okay, thank you for that information. If I put it there, it's going to give me the dash before the word okay, and it's going to give me the dash after the word soon. That's not what I want. So let's say you missed the macro to put it in. Just either work your way back up, and I'll show you that macro another time, but you can work your way back up the transcript and then execute your macro. So how do you go find this macro and how do you put it in? Go to Alt-U, Edit, Macros. Put your cursor in that list and click any one of them and just hit B a few times. And when you do, it's near the end of the B's. And this is the one you want, right there. Buttin In RT. RT stands for real time. So that's the macro you want to have for your real time writing. The other one, HYP, stands for hyperkeys, which is the editing Buttin In macro. So this is what I want, is the RT Buttin In. I want to go to Edit. And this is all, like I said, remember this is a shortcut. It does a lot of things at once. But the most important thing is it puts in the dash, and this one right here, the next one, retransmit. That one right there, retransmit. Really important because you want it to go out to everyone who's watching your fabulous real time. Now, to put it in your dictionary, you have to hit dictionary entry. And as you can see, my stroke is butts already, because butts is, well, the only time I could ever have a conflict with it is if they said cigarette butts. And there, I already have that globaled in my dictionary as one unit, cigarette butts. So I can't think of any time that I've ever had an issue with this not working or having a conflict with anything else. That's my stroke. I'm not saying you should use it, but I'm saying think of a stroke that's not going to cause you much problems. Mine is butts. So I'm going to hit OK. And here's where you want to see it says M stands for macro, and this is the macro that you're going to be using, and RT, real time. I'm going to put it in my main dictionary, and there it goes. It's just that simple. Now, if you want to make sure you have this macro while you're editing, you have to go to keyboard settings, hyperkeys, and I know mine is right here. Shift B, right above it, Shift B. And that's the macro for butting in hyperkeys. I would go through the same process that I just did with my steno machine. I would put the cursor on this line here where I had executed the macro while I'm editing. This is where I'm in the editing mode now. And hit Shift B, and it would do the same process for me. So I wouldn't have to go up and put a dash at the end of C and a dash before the word the. It would do it all at once. Now, that's the macro. Like I said, I can guarantee you're going to use this on every single job, unless you have the most polite witness that I've never ever seen in court. But who knows? Maybe they're out there somewhere. Next week, we're going to be talking about audio. And there is a macro for audio that's very, very important. So stay tuned for next week, another episode, and I'll get to see you again. Thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next week right here in Cosmo's Corner. Goodbye, everybody.